Our first director is Miss Anne Bogart. Originally from Rhode Island, Bogart received her master's at NYU and is currently a professor at Columbia University. But what she is most known for is her collaboration with Tadashi Suzuki and melding his unique Japanese movement style with her own. Anne Bogart helped to craft the technique we know today as the viewpoints. Viewpointing is a form of improvisational ensemble movement meant to unite the actors through space, body, and time. The 9 key elements of viewpointing are spatial relationships, architecture, floor pattern, shape, gesture, kinesthetic response, repetition, and tempo and duration. Bogart strives to bring the terror of everyday humanity and electrically put it on stage. As you can see from this SITI company production she directed, all of her shows bring forth viewpointing in some aspect. And many modern directors use her technique as well. Next up, we have Bertolt Brecht, whose work is inherently tied to the political. Why? Well, Brecht lived through the turmoil of World War I and the rise of pretty much every ism from Dadaism, communism, fascism, to Nazism, until he escaped to the US in 1941. And when he got there, he was tried for communism. So taking all of this experience, Brecht created the epic theater, where he implemented Verfremdungseffekt, or the alienation technique on the audience. Through the estrangement technique, Brecht adapts old works as well as creating his own, such as Mother Courage and Her Children and the Threepenny Opera. In doing so, Brecht makes the familiar strange and the strange familiar in order to point out and to shape the reality of this world that was going on around him to a deeper and more artistic truth.
Well, here come some tourists. I know, I'll sit here and pretend I'm a wax figure.
Who is that?
That's the fat idiot from The Family Guy.
Ugh, I hate that show.
Me too.
Our next director is the award-winning Peter Brook. This Sir was born, raised, and educated in England, where he started his career in the late 40s. While following in the footsteps of Artaud's theater of cruelty, Brook began in his own way pushing for universalism and idealism in his work. Brook is most known for his direction on over a dozen Shakespeare shows, like his notoriously stripped-down Midsummer Night's Dream and colorblind Hamlet. He believes that the theater is an empty space that can be broken down into the holy, the rough, the immediate, and the deadly. And sometimes, even within a single moment, he believes the four can intertwine. This idea of empty space plus the transformation within it is exemplified in Brook's famous tightrope exercise.
Something in the imagination has to be true and real, and it has to take you from here to here in a way that's all the time alive and interesting.
And for our final director and actor, we have the Russian father of realism, Konstantin Stanislavski. He was born in Moscow and dove into the arts at a young age before he helped in the co-founding of the Moscow Art Theater in 1897. It was here that Stanislavski developed what would soon become the most widely accepted wave of acting methodology. By emphasizing the wants and needs, both big and small, and having focus being on human behavior and emotional memory, Stanislavski revolutionized the art form. He also worked closely with playwright Anton Chekhov here in naturalistic productions such as The Seagull and The Cherry Orchard.
Lenin himself had to step in to save Stanislavski from the fanatics who wanted to purge the theater and impose an artistic regime known as prolet cult. Stalin personally orchestrated a Stanislavski cult, a propaganda maneuver designed to prove Soviet supremacy in the performing arts.
His method further developed even after his death and became a huge influence on other acting gurus like Uta Hagen, Stella Adler, and Sanford Meisner. Now, his methodology and its offshoots is being studied by actors and directors all over America and the world.